This is a Rockwood Signature Ultralight. It's an 8986 WS, I think. We'll check that. That's the main door, and that's the one slide out. The bed is up front, which we'll show you. Let's take a walk down and we'll take an outside tour. One of the reasons for choosing this unit is it has 50 amp service, which really isn't important unless you have what this has, which is 2 air conditioners. If you look up on the roof there's one up on the right and one on the back. Well, there's some roof vents in between, but the reason the 2 air conditioners are good, if you get in the Southwest in the summer, with one you're going to cook, and this will get nice and cool inside, front and back, and that's a good thing. So, and that's really not available. There's some used ones, but they're hard to find. It's a relatively new thing because they've used 30 amp for quite a while. Let's go down here. We'll show you. This is what they call, I've been told, the basement. Hold on. This has latch free. It just stays up by itself. There's nothing to hook. Okay, and here's your basement. Okay, and there's a hatch you can see on the other side. You can get in that way too. And it's basically to store whatever, some totes with equipment that you need, and to hook this up and all that, and put your lawn chairs and whatever else you want. Okay. You can also access some different mechanical things from down here. Let's they slam shut. They're actually really nice how they designed it. There's another little compartment here, which is actually in back of the fireplace television area. And I've got a little it's a little propane stove that came with it. Okay, that actually goes on that rail right there, and the line goes underneath and plugs in, so you can cook outside if you want. It's got 2 speakers. It's got, if you really want a TV outside, it's got outlet out here. It's got, you know, pretty much everything you would want to hang out outside. And of course it has 2, one here and one there, canopies. So back here, this has to do with the water, and the little button to the left is for these stabilizer bars down here, which basically you could not put them down, but when you get in the coach and walk around a little, it kind of feel it moving a little. Well, you put these down and it doesn't do that. And you know, that little thing up there is for a backup camera, which you can actually buy, which I don't know if I'll actually do that. Let's see. That's about it. So we'll move on. When I bought the hitch for the truck, we hadn't picked an RV out yet. And because I have a 6.5 foot bed, I got what they call a slider. Because with a 6.5 foot bed, where the pin has to, where you have to be for travel, if you make a tight turn, you could possibly hit the back of the cab with this, so that would be bad. But as it turned out, I really didn't need a slider, because this is a Reese Revolution. And what it does is, there's a little pin that's underneath here that you undo and you put it behind the pin here, and when you hook into it, this big arm that sticks out locks into your pin, and it can't turn where it normally turns now. And obviously you couldn't make a turn like that, so where this mounts up under the front here, there's 2 bolts you take out, and that turns. So it actually turns a couple feet back from where it would normally turn, and that keeps you where you can't hit the cab, and you don't have to worry about sliding it every time you get in a tight spot. So which is kind of cool. Haven't tried it yet. I don't know if the little pin that you have to mount in the front here is going to work with my hitch. You have to find that out. Have to go online. And while we're here, I'll show you what the front. There's your landing gear, which is sort of similar to the big truck, but not quite as sturdy. You got to be a little more careful with it. It also has an electric right there. There's a couple things, but the one thing there on the left, those panels there, is a they retract and go up and down automatically, which you can actually raise and lower it to level it with it, which is kind of nice. That's front to back. Right to left leveling you'd have to do with something under the wheels. There's also the plug down on the bottom right is actually where the solar panels plug in, and there's another switch for lights, and there's a vent there. This little box in the front here, I'm going to open up, show you what's in here. There's actually lots of lights here. There's a light there. There's open this up. This is where the battery is. Okay, and it's only got one battery in it. You could actually add many. They say the way to go is 4 6-volts in series parallel, and you could go a long time. But for what we're using it for right now, we're not going to be doing any what they call boondocking, which means not going to an RV park and just, well, boondocking. You would want more batteries, and then you would want maybe the solar, and you can put a generator to charge up the batteries. But it's a pretty good space in here, even if you put 4 batteries in here. So, and all the hatches, like I showed you before, they just slam shut. They're really nice. So this is one of the propane tanks. The other one's on the other side. I'll show you how this is. There's one of the tanks. They're 30 gallons, 30 pounds, I believe. And there's one on the other side. And actually the control is on the other side in a gauge. It automatically switches from tank to tank. That's actually for, well, your stove. There's a great heating system with actually 2 zones that works off of propane. You also have your fireplace if you have electric instead of using the propane, especially if you're not paying for the electric, or you're paying a daily fee. But you know, if you don't have power, you can heat it with the propane. Over here is the hatch. This here goes, you can see in the, I showed it from the other side. You can see it from this side. And it's the basement, the rest of it. This over here is a lot of different water connections. It's antifreeze when you're going to winterize it. All kinds of different things. I gotta do some more research on this yet. But low point drain, wastewater, whatever. I believe in here there's a little portable shower in here. I don't have the key with me, but you could actually, if you're at the beach or something, you can use it. It's a little hand thing. That's actually the back of the heater. That's the heater for the inside of the RV and for the hot water, which works off of propane. And that's about it here. Okay, here's the other side. You can see there's a wardrobe slide. That's just a wardrobe for the bedroom that pops out, and that's the other side of the living room. We like this model because it had the 2 slides opposite one another, which gives you a really, really big room in the back, which we'll show you. Let's take a walk around the back, and I'll take a walk over here. This is definitely an amateur video. So, here's the power cord. I got it plugged in here. I put a 50 amp, it's actually 220, the 50 amp, with a, on the outside of the barn here with a surge protector, and it also analyzes the circuit. Okay. You can see the wire is quite an ungainly thing. There's the back. It's got a ladder for access to the roof and a spare.